So okay, there's a lot going on here. So in regards to the to Russians' offensive and illegal invasion of a sovereign nation known as Ukraine, Belarus, which has enabled this occupation and invasion, is announcing a referendum to renounce non-nuclear status, and this is coming out right before Vladimir Putin, the biggest bitch in the world, said that he is scrambling his own nuclear units. So there's a lot going on here, and in response to this, there have been significant protests starting in Belarus cities across the country. But I want to read this real quick too. Belarus held a referendum on Sunday to adopt a new constitution that would ditch its non-nuclear status at a time when the country has become a launchpad for Russian troops invading Ukraine and marching on Kyiv. The vote, almost certain to pass under the tightly controlled rule of President Alexander Lukashenko, could see nuclear weapons on Belarusian soil for the first time since the country gave them up after the fall of the Soviet Union. And again, so Putin announces that he's scrambling his own nuclear units. Also, Belarus says that, okay, we're now allowing nuclear weapons in our land. That's weird. Also, again, Belarus is situated on the border of Ukraine to the north, and it's in a potentially, pretty bad range of Kyiv as well. If you're going to be, launching nuclear weapons and stuff, they're trying to assault them from all sides and threaten nuclear weapons, and it's not good. But again, so we are seeing pretty good protests. There's some other stuff going on. And as well, I want to play this clip here from the opposition leader. And again, for those of you that don't know, I am not too educated on this myself. And I would welcome resources if people want to give them to me. But in 2020, I believe there was a gigantic constitutional crisis, and where there was a very close election, and the leader of Belarus, Lukashenko, basically put down protests all across the nation with extreme violence. And a lot of people were killed in Belarus by the police force. And he kind of, it seems, installed himself as a dictator. But this is the opposition leader who, put out a statement in regards to the news that Belarus was going to be cooperating in regards to nuclear weapons with Russia. And so I want to play this.
On behalf of Belarusians and Belarus, I want to emphasize that we support and stand in solidarity with the people and government of Ukraine. The future of Europe is being decided right now. Ukraine has been under an unprovoked brutal attack from Russia since Thursday. We didn't stop the regime from providing Russia with infrastructure and land for the invasion. Belarus became an aggressor, and we are ashamed of this. Because we didn't choose to be aggressors, not this time, not ever in our history. I call on the international community to help Ukraine defend itself and support Belarusians. There cannot be narratives that Belarus has lost its independence. It's not. All these days, I have been in touch with Belarusians, stressing clearly, we need to protect our sovereignty. We need to stop this war. I also addressed the Belarusian army and military officials. They have the right not to follow Lukashenko's orders. He made Belarus a full-fledged participant in the invasion and thus committed high treason. So I announced that I'm taking on the responsibility as the national leader of Belarus and will create a transitional cabinet. My goal is to protect the sovereignty and independence of our country and to represent our state in security negotiations and crisis management in the region. And our joint aim is to stop the war and the humanitarian catastrophe in Ukraine, Belarus, and all of Europe.
So again, after making this announcement as well, she went to, promote protests going on throughout Belarus. Now, again, folks, there was a constitutional crisis in 2020 over the election. A lot of people claim that this woman won the election. And I am going to go ahead and say that given what I saw in Belarus from Lukashenko's paramilitary police forces after they disappeared and murdered civilians protesting this election, again, I am not severely, I would like more education on that. And I'll probably do my own research over the next few days as well. But again, Belarus as well, under Lukashenko's regime, has participated and enabled Vladimir Putin's illegal and offensive war and invasion of Ukraine. And so, this woman here, I'm sorry, like Svetlana is, I can't, I'm on too many drugs to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry, I apologize. But again, so real quick, just to go into this. So Lukashenko announced that he's going to reform the constitution, which he can just do, to revoke non-nuclear status. So what that means is non-nuclear status means there are no nuclear weapons allowed at all within the borders of Belarus. So revoking that would mean nuclear weapons are now allowed within the borders of Belarus. And guess who has one of the largest supplies of nuclear weapons in the whole world? Russia, which is right next to Belarus, which is also situated in a really good spot to potentially strike on the capital city of Ukraine, right? So again, what this is implying, and again, Vladimir Putin, on the same day that this came out as well, announced that he is scrambling on putting on high alert his nuclear forces. So that seems to be that he's moving nuclear weapons into Belarus. And so I just want to say that I support the protesters here. There's some other footage that you can find online, but this is the one I've got here at the moment, that are protesting in solidarity with Ukraine all across Belarus as well. And so again, things are getting a little dicey, and it is no good. There you go.